And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the mighty 1090 studios with legendary Captain Pete Groesbeck. And from Seakeeper, we have West Coast Sales Manager Berkely Andrews and the Vice President of Sales for Seakeeper from New Jersey, Andrew Semprevivo. We're going to have a great show talking about an amazing device for your boat. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Information is the key to success, and inside information is even better. When it comes to fishing, inside information is critical, and that's what FishDope.com delivers. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and save fuel. FishDope.com is the only SST service with a satellite oceanographic PhD on board. The only fish finding service with a spotter plane. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com boasts the largest code group anywhere, covering sport boats, commercial boats, and private boaters. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. What I'm telling you is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, good luck. Membership costs less than 40 gallons of gas for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, stay tuned for the special code to save $20 on a FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel. Shimano is proud to present an opportunity for you to go fishing on two of the finest three-quarter-day boats on the fleet and use the top-of-the-line Shimano gear. It's Terramar Tuesday, going on now through September. Join Shimano Pro staff aboard the San Diego out of Seaforth Sport Fishing, and coming in June, the new Liberty from Fisherman's Landing. These trips will be booked through the landing and at the same price as a regular three-quarter-day trip, but the difference will be a selection of top-of-the-line Shimano Terramar rods and reels will be available for you to try, along with an assortment of Shimano jigs and more. And a member of the Shimano Pro staff will be aboard to answer questions you may have. Terramar Tuesdays will feature Shimano Terramar rods with Trinidad A, Torium HG, Tranks, and Talica reels available for you to try for free. Don't miss Terramar Tuesday on the San Diego out of Seaforth Sport Fishing and beginning June 7th aboard the Liberty from Fisherman's Landing. Check the landing website for more details or the trips page at hookup1090.com.
Last year, we had an unbeatable fishing season. One of the best in decades. I think we'll all take another year just like it. Now, just imagine what it could be like if we have an unbeatable season 39 years in a row. Well, that's exactly what Ford has done with their F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks 39 years in a row. We love our F-150s here in San Diego. Ford trucks give you the freedom to launch your boat with ease thanks to Pro Trailer Backup Assist. The freedom to toss all your gear in the bed no matter how wet and messy it gets. And the freedom to fit 5 full-size guys comfortably in the cab. And right now, during the Ford Freedom Sales event, you'll get the freedom from interest charges with Ford's best finance rate of the year. Freedom from high monthly payments thanks to special summer lease programs, plus the freedom to save even more on trucks with smart bonus tags. It's an incredible combination of savings on an incredible lineup of trucks. So don't miss the Ford Freedom Sales event. Stop by your San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. Going to be a fun show today, man.
It is going to be a fun show. Our good buddy Pete Groesbeck is here. Good morning, Pete.
Morning, Pete. Morning, Ricky.
Great to have you, Pete. Pete's, of course, a legendary captain in Southern California. I remember him going to elementary school.
Oh, you're going to bring that up again?
Elementary school.
Really?
Going out fishing. That was when we were young, a long time ago.
Yes.
Going out, catching more marlin than everybody else in town.
That's crazy. Crazy times, man.
Like, we're talking, well, geez, that's
Well,
got to
you're
be
gonna-
like
are you
a
really
long
gonna-
time ago.
Thank you for not saying the date.
We're just saying the general in the 60s.
Okay.
Okay? In the 60s, yeah. Somewhere in the 60s, which was a different era world.
Yeah, it was.
And you're still at it.
Still at it. Still doing the same thing.
Yeah. And how's the fishing right now?
Oh, boy. Everybody knows how good it is.
It's good if you're Pete.
Pete, you've been getting them,
great
man.
if you're
I mean,
Groesbeck.
it's something nobody's ever seen before.
No.
You thought the last 2 years, we haven't seen any of this stuff before. Well, it's all, you take the book, throw it away. Well, that book we threw away is still in the trash.
Yeah.
Don't pull back
I was
out
going to
yet.
get it out, but I'm going to keep it in the trash because this year's something that nobody's seen before again. You know, so we're like everybody else, we're scrambling and trying to figure new things. And Ricky in the tackle shop, you know, they're going through tackle like they've never gone through before and making up stuff, and everybody's trying new stuff. It's really amazing.
Yeah. So we're talking, of course, about this giant bluefin tuna that's around, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this. Like within as close as maybe 9 miles of the coast, you can catch a 300-pound bluefin tuna potentially.
Yeah, there's some
That's a
big
real thing.
That's a real
thing.
That's a real thing.
It's
Right.
pretty crazy.
It's still around too. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of it up the beach, and I'm sure there's some schools offshore, and it's just incredible.
You were talking about the fact that the stuff's been around since April.
April.
Here we are in July.
I'm running a 66 Viking that we brought back from Florida. We got it here in September and got on that marlin fishing up in Channel Islands, and then we shut it down in December to do a bunch of boat work and figured, well, you know, I got till May. We'll be okay.
May at least.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they showed up end of March.
Yeah.
And I was going, oh, you're kidding me. And then I thought they'd be gone. And of course, and we started fishing in the middle of April.
We caught our first bluefin tuna on the Parker on April Fool's Day.
Fool's Day.
April 1.
Wow.
Like, it's just crazy. And it's been around every day since then.
Yep.
Every day.
And you see a lot, but you don't catch a lot.
Yeah, it's trophy.
Some
hunting.
days it's up, some days it's down, but it's moving around. It's kind of moves up to the northwest and then it swings around and you see a school moving southeast and then it's incredible. It's starting to get on the banks a little bit, and we have last couple of years we've had this what we call the clean screen on the meters. We had a warm water effect where it's just the meter's completely clean. Well, we're back to this dirty screen, which is good because we call it schmegma, you know, the schmutz, and you see the thermocline, and we have a lot of green blue water edges, and the swordfish are here. It's more like Southern California.
Yeah.
But the only difference is big bluefin. They've never been here like this before.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk more about how to catch those big bluefin because Pete kind of has I'm not going to say it dialed, but he's figured it out somewhat, right, Rick?
Damn right. Yeah. We watch him every weekend. He'll come by the shop and grab gear, and next thing you know, how'd it go? Oh, we had a cow. We had another one that was about that big. Pulled the hook on. Got another 90-pounder. Yeah. No, the guy's got it figured out.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got it figured out.
But one of the things you have on that beautiful 66 Viking is a Seakeeper.
Yes.
And we've got the guys from Seakeeper. We have, first of all, Andrew Semprevivo, Director of VP of Sales and Marketing for Seakeeper, calling us from New Jersey. Good morning, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
We have Andrew there. All right.
There we go.
There
Good
we
morning,
go.
Andrew.
All right. Good morning, Andrew. There we have.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
Great to have you here on Let's Talk Hookup. And Berkely Andrews, who's the VP, or not the VP, but the West Coast Sales Manager for Seakeeper. Berkely?
Good morning, Pete.
What's up, Berkely?
Berkeley's been around Southern California fishing for, shall we say, decades. He reminded me that the last time he was on Let's Talk Hookup was 19 years ago. Is that right, Berkely?
It was up there, Pete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man days.
Iron Man days, way back in the days. Yeah. So great to have you back, Berkely. And Andrew, tell us about what is Seakeeper? A lot of our listeners may not know.
It's a device that simply by eliminating 95% of the boat roll, essentially creating a land-like experience on the water. So rather than traditional fin stabilizers, which were really developed and designed for bigger yachts but provided pleasurable stabilized experience, we're doing it completely internal, utilizing gyroscopic technology. Essentially a flywheel inside a vacuum encapsulation, which is spinning at extremely high rates of speed, near 600 miles an hour. And we're essentially harnessing that energy to reduce the roll on the vessel. And everyone's probably played with the top before, one of the hand gyroscopes. And as the boat rolls on ours, we simply the gyro precesses naturally, moves fore and aft, and in doing so, exerts the torque back onto the boat and reduces the roll.
It's unfathomable how you can reduce 80 to 95% of the roll. Pete, you run your boat is like a demo boat, right? You take people out and prove it.
When I worked on the Sea Bandit, it was 2008, I think it was. We had one of the first ones out here, and I couldn't believe it. It was incredible. So we started doing sea trials because it's basically you can talk all you want about it, but until you go out and actually feel it, because it's something that it's not normal. Because you get out there and you push the button and it starts working, and you look and you just like it doesn't compute. Wait a minute, what's going? It's just and so you turn it off again, turn it on, turn it off, and then the sea trials tell you everything. And then when I got off the Sea Bandit, we got this 66 Viking I'm on. I was going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do without a Seakeeper? And that was the first thing the owner.
Hello, Berkely.
First thing the owner asked, and so we found this Viking, which Viking does a lot of Seakeeper installs, and it had one on it already.
Wow.
The thing, it's almost unfathomable. Like, because we've all been on boats our whole lives, and when you're on a boat on the ocean, it rocks. And that's just how it is. You rock back and forth. And when the Seakeeper's turned on, it doesn't rock anymore. I mean, you're still on a boat, still on the ocean. You just don't go left or right anymore.
Right. It was my boss was so intrigued by it. He put one in his Grady White in San Francisco because he fishes salmon. And you get outside a gate, and it's pretty windy and a lot of current and stuff. And he's out there now and fishing salmon, and he stays out there a lot longer.
Well, how big is a Grady White?
35.
35 feet.
And how many people have a wife and a girlfriend that they would love to take fishing, but they just get seasick and they just don't get to use or they only get to use their boat half as much, and you can install a product and push a button, and now it's like being tied up to the dock. I mean, like it's awesome. You just wouldn't believe that can work like that.
And you don't realize too is that the fishability. You know, there's some cases out there, instances we all been there, where you just can't fish it because of the weather. You know, and now all of a sudden there's some conditions you can stay out in and fish. And you're not forced to fish a certain direction or a certain thing. You can do what you want.
That's cool, man. That's so cool.
Andrew, the technology obviously is advancing quite substantially over the past year, 2 years. By the way, how long has Seakeeper been around?
Seakeeper was founded in 2002. That's when the initial design and idea came along. But we didn't put product into the marketplace until 2008. Okay. And since then, we have about 3,500 units that we have sold. And, up until last year, most of those were on 50 to 70 footers. And now that we've released a smaller model, the Seakeeper 5, which Pete is talking about on the Grady White, we've really gained access and been able to provide stabilization to 30 to 50-foot boats for the first time ever. And the goal of the company and the future vision is to continue bringing the technology smaller and smaller, as we really do believe that we'll be able to deliver a product to boats as small as 20-footers within the next few years.
As small as 20 feet?
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
That's beyond. Now, if you have a 30-foot boat, today you could put a Seakeeper in there and make it happen.
That's correct. Yep. And we've done, just to give you an idea, in the past year, roughly 500 boats under 50-footers, and most of those outboard center consoles. You know, as you get down in speed, these boats tend to have narrower beam, deeper dead rise, and that's what gives you a great ride. But you also do suffer a little bit of roll from that. So the device is, really done well in that marketplace. We're providing results in terms of reduction that we had never seen before on the bigger boats, and it's not only at rest, but it's what the product's doing for the boats underway as well. And, we're really excited about it. And as I said, we want to continue bringing it smaller and smaller. There was a recent study done in Medical News Journal that, 65% of the people that get on a boat experience motion sickness and never want to get back on again. And we believe if we can get, every boat fit with stabilization, that when people do get on boating for the first time, they have a pleasurable experience. They stay with boating and hopefully can grow the industry as a whole. I say impression is usually defined by someone's worst experience. So again, if you get out in a boat and you or one of your friends get seasick, the chances are they're never going to want to get back on a boat again. So if we can continue scaling this technology down and get it to those entry-level boaters, I think we'll have a huge impact.
I would say so. So Pete was telling me that you guys can take a boat and calculate the amount of roll that it's going to reduce. Here's my boat, here are the dimensions, here's the weight, everything about my boat, and you guys have a computer program that tells you exactly what, or pretty close to exactly what's going to happen when that Seakeeper goes in.
Yeah, that's right. And, we're still learning. 3,500 units later, we're learning more about boats, more about motion, more about different periods, ways, and, what impact that has on boat roll. And also our product is evolving. So when we launched the company in 2008, we strive to achieve 60 to 75% roll reduction. And on most boats, that's what we were seeing. But we have, refined the technology. We're getting more, angular momentum, which essentially is the horsepower out of the gyro out of the same envelope and weight. And we've also, pushed the sizing more aggressively as we believe in not only, simply reducing roll 50, 60%, we want to totally eliminate it. And now we're striving for 95%, reduction on every application. And, we're typically, somewhere in the 90% range.
90% roll reduction.
90% roll reduction.
That's crazy.
And so, Pete, you're saying that when you take people out, you must just see their faces just go. I mean, it must be like once you take people out that are serious and that really want this, it must be like 100% closing rate on this thing when you turn the thing on. I'm sure.
Well, yeah, like I said, you can talk on all you want, but the people that we've taken out that are serious and want to do it but not sure what it is because it's new. I mean, it's like, wait a minute, I'm going to spend this money and what is it? And so you go out there and you put it in boat in the position and have it off. I leave it off, and I mean it's on standby, but it's not engaged. Get out there and everybody says, okay, well, they're used to this kind of roll. They see a wave coming, and then you push the button, and the boat goes like a half roll. The computer and everything calculates everything, and then it goes doink.
It just sits there.
It sits there. And you go, and here comes a wave, and it's like, it didn't move. The first time I went offshore in 2008 with one of these offshore fishing, it was blowing typical tuna weather. It's 12 to 18 knots. 3 to 4 foot, and we're fishing tuna, and it stopped, and I'm sitting there, and this is great, and all of a sudden you hear this boom. What was that? I look up off the bow, and the waves were hitting the bow of the boat and bouncing back off.
Oh, wow.
That was like, what? Are you kidding me?
That's
really?
Crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, and on a lot of things that I found out that wasn't told to me, it was that we found out after fishing 4 or 5 days in a row, or 6-8 days in a row doing the Bisbee pre-fish stuff, and the next day we woke up and we're just tired because we weren't trying to fight the conditions all day long.
Yeah.
So you actually woke up going, I'm not as tired. I feel good. I feel good.
Yeah.
And you can stay out in these conditions longer and fish in the conditions longer than you would before because you're not turned away on the weather.
Yeah. And
then you go in a place and you're going to go to an anchorage. You go, I can't go in there, because the swell's up. And last year at Santa Cruz, Albert's, in the Santa Cruz Islands, big south swell. Summertime, fall. Everybody's at Smugglers. We went into Albert's. God, they can't go in. The swell's too big. And I could look in the gyros and see the swell breaking off the beach. And think about it. You want to drop the anchor. Wow. How was it last night? Right?
And you just leave it on all night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So Berkely, with any mechanical advice, people think, well, how long will it work? Am I going to have problems servicing and stuff like? What's the dependability of Seakeeper?
Dependability is very good, Pete. We've got some units out there today that we've got 11,000 hours on them, and been using them for 3 or 4 years, and very, very happy.
Yeah, and Pete was telling me that the service is unbelievable.
Pete, I use certain electronics and certain things because it's as everybody knows, it's the product's only as good as the service. Right. And I need to make a phone call, whether it's my electronics, whatever, and I can call Andrew. There's like 5 different numbers. Right. I can call. If I don't get the first guy, I get the second guy, or the first guy calls the third guy, and you got somebody like right now. Yeah. And now they have guys in San Diego, Long Beach, San Francisco, LA area. And that if one guy's too busy, the other guy drives down. There's an answer for you always, and that's the big thing I saw about it because it was a new technology. Well, how do they support this new technology? It has to be some service, and that's one thing they've really pushed hard is the service. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's from day one, most companies sell product and then they worry about how they're going to service it. And we knew with any two technology, you're going to work through some quirks, but we also knew how important it was to have a first-class support network. And a lot of our early days, 2008 to 2010, a lot of the resources were strictly to develop service, around the world, even in places where we hadn't sold equipment yet. And I think that has really helped us. We have a training program where we have over 200 companies now that have went through our schooling, which is 3 days of hands-on training. And the other thing I think that we do that really, allows us, one, to connect with our end users, but make sure that they always have support is, you can go to our website. Every one of our salespeople, including myself, and every one of our service people have their mobile phones listed on the site with available 24/7 contact. And people are spending money, with this type of equipment and devices. They deserve that support, and we promise it.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Cool.
So
Cool.
I see in the brochure that Berkely presented to us that you're coming out with one very soon for even smaller boats. Can you tell us about that, or is this kind of a secret?
Well, yeah, I don't know how much I can say, but yeah. Now, as I said earlier, the original vision of the company was really to bring stabilization down to 20 foot. And when we launched in 2008, there was never before an option for stabilization, at least a practical option for anything under 70 foot. So we designed the product to go into the 50 to 70 foot market, and it was a great success. And, now that it was internal stabilization, people didn't have to worry about loss of speed or efficiency. We had a lot of demand from 80, 90, 100, 120 footers for this technology. And based on the economy and, where we were at, we were forced to design, bigger products, and it was a great thing that we've done, and we've had great results with it. But now that we've been able to establish some profitability as a company, we have some more money to invest in R&D and design. We want to get back to the roots, and we want to continue to scale this technology smaller and smaller. As not only, of course, is the market bigger, but like I said earlier, we really believe that that's the most important thing that we can do is that first experience, whether it's a 20-foot single outboard boat or whatever it may be, that people get on and have a pleasurable one and they stick with us.
Yeah, pretty good. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. A lot to talk about from one of the most amazing devices for your boat, Seakeeper, that may be ever developed since the autopilot, shall we say. It's pretty amazing technology. And, of course, we have Pete Groesbeck, too, to talk about some phenomenal fishing, too. So it's going to be a great show.
Today's going to be a really cool show and so much good information. Like, you nailed it. This is going to be one of those things. We'll all remember this show 20 years from now when every single boat has one of these in it, because that's what you do. That's what this technology, this is the iPhone of the, 10 years from now, and it's really cool, and there's going to be a lot to talk about, especially, like, say, having Pete here with us and Berkely. It's just going to be a really fun show, tons of great information. Andrew's going to be hanging in with us, answering all your questions. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we want to hear from you this morning. This is a cool show with a lot of different info, and if you want to join us this morning, 858 area code 457-1090. That's the best number to reach us. Again, 858-457-1090, open right now. You can always try us on our toll-free line. That one's 877-792-1090. Again, toll-free, 877-792-1090. Your chance to get through. And not only are we talking Seakeeper, we're going to be talking fishing, inshore and offshore, catch reports for you. Tons of great stuff coming up today on the show. We have also got such a rad prize for one lucky caller at the end of the show today, and that's a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. It's the Haleakalas. It's a really nice pair of fishing-style Maui Jims, a great pair of glasses. It's the root beer fade frame. It's a really cool kind of brown frame that they have. It's a neutral gray lens, which is the highest light reduction in a rich color and contrast. It's a great glass. It's the Maui Pure lens, which is the lightest weight frame, but still, it's just awesome. I love them. I've got that same lens in a Piahi, and the Haleakala is a really, really nice pair of glasses. Yeah, somebody's going to be stoked on a really nice pair of Maui Jims at the end of the show today. Again, if you want to get through, have your chance at winning those glasses, or better yet, having your chance to talk to the boys, 858 area code 457-1090 or 877-792-1090. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sports fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
This is Rick Jensen with Sport Fishing Financial. I think most of you get that I'm a fisherman and work with the fishing community, but to understand exactly what Sport Fishing Financial does, ask yourself these 4 questions. First, do you really know how much money you'll need in order to retire comfortably? Next, do you know how much you'll have to save on a regular basis to reach that number? Do you have a process that includes a proven investment strategy and confidence that the money you save will grow? Last, do you have a plan for how to turn your savings into retirement income? If you don't have good answers to these questions, you're not alone. But you should, and I can make sure you do. In addition, if you own a business and currently provide or are planning on providing a retirement savings plan for yourself or your employees, we should really talk. We offer an outstanding variety of creative solutions that are sure to meet your needs.
Some of our listeners may feel overwhelmed. Others may believe they are already doing the best they can. In either case, I bet Rick can help. Set a time to meet with him and start planning for your personal or business investment success. Find Rick on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com or give him a call at 949-481-1807.
The Yamaha V6 Offshore 4-Strokes have some pretty impressive fans, the pros. These award-winning outboards have really delivered for pro anglers across the country. In fact, Florida-based pro tournament fisherman, guide, and TV host Rick Murphy says he's even taken the 300's power inshore. He mounted a 300 to his 23-foot bay, adding 50 horses, losing 40 pounds, and getting that baby up to 70 miles per hour. What's not to like about that? Check out the Yamaha V6 Offshore 4-Stroke 300, 250, and 225 at your Yamaha Marine dealer.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course, I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, boat California, save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
For local and long-range fishing, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among seasoned or novice anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. You need to check out the Islander on their website, islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 2 to 5 day fishing. Watch the website for trips and adventures available. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, you know, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special, special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Yeah, we're talking Seakeeper, we're talking bluefin tuna, we're talking fishing here in Southern California on Let's Talk Hookup today. Andrew Semprevivo calling us from New Jersey, VP of sales for Seakeeper. We have Berkely Andrews, West Coast sales manager. Berkeley's been around the fishing world for decades here in Southern California. Now he's with Seakeeper. And, of course, the one and only Captain Pete Groesbeck, who in his career has caught more marlin, swordfish, bluefin, yellowfin than anybody I know. Was on the legendary Dream Team back in the day. What year was that?
2008? No, 6. 2006 is when we won the tournament.
And you won how much money?
$3.9
million.
Yeah, on the
dollars.
Bisbees.
Yeah, and the Bisbee. Yeah,
and that was
pretty
Anthony
good paycheck.
Shea put that. It was he put that whole team together. He fished his boat, and we fished the Hatteras, and then we went to Viking.
Yeah, the bad company. Yeah.
That was fun times.
Yeah,
and now Anthony's got a fleet.
Yeah, he sure does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
Captain
got
Steve Lasley still running the boat.
He just got a 144 footer they bought back east, and they put new engines in it, and it's going to be the new mothership. You know, go wherever.
And I would imagine it's going to be have a Seakeeper in there too.
You know what? That's a good. I think that's a good question. I have to ask you
Berkely,
that.
we'll have to get on that.
But they did the Jones Goodell, the '94 Jones Goodell. They put one in that one too.
What were you gonna say, Rich?
I said I think that if I was right, is that the biggest sports fisher ever?
It's got to be up there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's bigger boats, but I mean a sport fisher style of boat in a 144. It is bad.
That's a big boat,
man. It's
That's
bad.
a big boat. Indeed. Well, let's head south right now.
Yeah.
Mr. John Ireland from Rancho Leonero's giving us a call with a fish port. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Peter, Rick.
Morning, John.
Hey,
well,
now, I know yesterday was the big Dorado shootout at Van Warmer Resorts. I know you fished in it, and did you win?
I sure did. Well, let me tell you. Let me give you this story. It should have been a marlin tournament. But yesterday, we released 4 blue marlin and 4 striped marlin. And I would say every boat out there that was fishing the tournament at least released 2 or 3 billfish. However, the biggest Dorado was 3 ounces less than last year. 12 pounds, 6 ounces.
Come on.
No.
And don't tell me
our
man, Don Salder from Team Baracho won again back to back.
No, really interesting. She wouldn't let him, the woman that owns the boat, wouldn't let him take the boat this year. So she went herself, and she won on the same boat.
Okay.
On the same boat.
That's
okay.
funny.
All right.
It's the same boat, yeah. Just 3. And you know, about 20 minutes left in the tournament yesterday. We had 2 nice 30, 40-pound fish, a pair of them, a Dorado, poking around at us, and we really thought we were going to hang one of them, and that would have we'd have been in good shape. But yeah, like I say, a lot of billfish, a lot of rooster fish. The tuna and the Dorado are kind of slow right now. Still picking up the wahoo. About 1 out of every 3 boats are picking up wahoo from 30 to 60 pounds. Inshore is real good too. A lot of barb cargo and snapper going on. Inshore is real good. A little slow this week for the tuna and certainly for the Dorado. So I think there's 127 boats going out, and you figure the biggest Dorado's 12.6.
That's something, man. That's a lot of boat coverage there for a small Dorado, no doubt about it.
But obviously, great fishing. I mean, 4 stripers and 4 blues.
We boated and released 8 fish, 4 blues, and there's some big blues. Mike Dix, day before yesterday, caught a 323 that he had tail wrap that he brought to the boat and we weighed, and there's just a lot of good-sized fish there. It bodes well for the Bisbee, it sure does. You know, it changes day to day, but if it's anything like this for the Bisbee, it's going to be a real good one this year for sure.
Yeah.
It's all about the marlin right now. And there's a good mix of sails in there, along with the stripers and the blues too. So, but it's all about inside and marlin right now, guys. And that is spectacular fish. It truly is. So.
Sounds great, John. And of course. Yeah. Great weather, great time of the year to go down to the East Cape. And are there spots available at Rancho Leonero if somebody wants to come?
Yeah, there sure are now. We're through June and to July now. We'll have spots through July, August, September, and it's interesting. You know, the water right now is much cooler than normal. It's cooler now than it was last March.
Wow.
We measured no more than 81-degree water out there today. It was 79 to 81 degrees. And it was last March, this last March was 83, 84. So it's actually dropped some and gotten more back to normal, kind of off the El Nino, which is a good thing. There's a lot of temp breaks to work and everything. So I'm pleased at least, and that should knock down on the weather this year too. Hopefully, with the water cooler inside, we won't have any big weather events this year. Hopefully.
Yeah, well, if somebody wants to come down to Rancho Leonero, how do we get a hold of you, John?
Thanks, Pete. It's 800-646-2252 or rancholeonero.com. And we're taking a lot of photos, like I say, a lot of real nice barred pargo and dogtooth snappers, dogtooth pargo. Nice fish in the 20, 30, 40-pound range, a lot of them. So, sweet. And we got photos. So, all
right, check that out at rancholeonero.com. Thanks a lot, John, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
One more thing I wanted to mention: I'm going to get knee surgery, so I'm not going to be able to fish El Jefe in my boat for the East Cape Bisbee. El Jefe's going to, my personal boat with all the accurate equipment and everything on it's going to be available for the Bisbee if anybody wants to fish it.
Wow.
$950 a day. $950 a day. It's a deal.
That's a deal at $950 a day, and that's in August, right?
Yeah, that's in August. First week of August. Yeah. So if somebody wants her, just give the office a call, and she's theirs for the trip, and then she's completely set up. She's ready to go. So. Yeah. And a good captain, Ramon, too.
Oh, yeah, no, he's great. Yeah, all right, well, good luck with the surgery, but we'll talk to you before that, which is next week.
Oh, sure will. You sure will.
All right, thanks, John. Appreciate that very much from Rancho Leonero. John Ireland, phones are packed. They want to talk to Andrew. They want to talk to Pete. They want to talk to Berkely, so let's jump into the phones.
Sounds good to me, dude. Let's start it off with Rich, who's calling us from Camarillo this morning. Rich, good morning. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, everyone.
Hi, Rich.
Morning.
My question is, I've been out on several extended day trips where you're hanging onto the rail with one arm and fighting the fish with the other. Has there ever been any consideration of putting those devices into the sports fishing boats that run out of like San Diego?
That's interesting because I've been trying to hit that market, and Berkely and I have been hitting the docks, and it's something that we approached a couple of people with, and we are working that direction. And I explained it just like you guys. I was talking to the guys on how many fish are lost at color when the boat goes up, and the fish goes down, or vice versa, and they go quite a bit. And I think those guys, you'll be catching more fish, and plus, again, the comfort zone. If you're sitting in an area and the wind against current, and everybody else is rolling around, and you look over and this one boat just sitting there, as a passenger, you're just like, well, what am I doing on this boat? So it's something that it's going to happen. I believe it's just getting the right unit with the right group of people. But that's a really good point, and I think it's a good direction.
Yeah, Andrew, is Seakeeper for every boat, or are there certain boats that it just won't work?
No, it's for every boat. Our range is 30 foot to the biggest we've done is 220 foot. And we've done, a lot of business, obviously, in the recreational world. That's yachts and sport fish. But we've also done a lot in the commercial military, including wind farm and oil platform transfer boats. We have done some commercial fishing boats, some salmon seiners up in Alaska, and we've done a couple over in Europe. So it is for every application.
I told Berkely I was just in Anchorage last week, and I saw a guy wearing a Seakeeper hat in Anchorage. So I was like, oh, man, this is good territory for that.
No doubt.
Alaska, no question about it. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, anyway, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phones. That was a good question. Let's jump back to it.
You got it. How about this time we talked to Don? Don's calling us from Woodland Hills this morning. Good morning, Don. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. This is really very interesting technology. I think you nailed it, Rick, when you said this is kind of like the iPhone, 10, 20 years ago. Yeah. So the gentleman right before I asked my question, I would highly encourage some of our sport fishing boats to consider a Seakeeper.
Indeed.
Since I do a lot of fishing, and I agree with the idea that a lot of fish are lost at color because of the roll of a boat. My question for the Seakeeper team and then for Mr. Groesbeck is, one, are you a publicly traded company? And then the second question is a recommendation for a connection for 100, 125-pound Spectra to fluorocarbon.
All right, so is Seakeeper publicly traded or is it privately held?
Seakeeper is privately held.
All right.
It's two founders, John Adams and Shep McKenney. Shep was former owner of Hinckley Yachts, and John Adams owned a company, Maritime Dynamics, which did stabilization for big commercial fast ferries. But it still is privately held.
Okay.
Cool. And as far as connection Spectra to mono, I know that there's a lot of options. I think it kind of depends a little bit on the situation that you're fishing, Don. If it was a longer top shot, if it was a real short top shot where the connection's going to be going through the guides, or if it was the popper scenario like what's going on right now where you're just, you've got your Spectra that's running almost all the way through the guides and then just a little teeny piece of leader right to your popper. What was the scenario that you might be thinking about?
Well, actually, I think in short top shot of fluorocarbon to Spectra.
So I like, and Pete, you might chime in too, I like to go with some sort of a wind-on style connection. So for me, I like to use either a Sato crimp or just some sort of a serve and utilizing hollow spectra. So I'll use my 130-pound hollow spectra, run the fluorocarbon right inside of the hollow, and then either whip it with some 30-pound Dacron, or even easier, just slide 2 Sato crimps on there, crimp it, glue it, and call it good.
Exactly.
What do you think, Pete?
Exactly. The wind-on situation is it goes through the guys a lot, really easy. But the Sato crimps with that short piece, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And it's quick too. You know, if you're,
Fast.
I mean,
Get it
if
done.
you catch a fish and you got to redo one real quick, you're not sitting there, you know, sitting there for about 20 minutes trying to tie your knot out. You just tie another and put it back out.
I'm a big RP knot guy for a lot of what we use, but when you're starting to talk about 130-pound, the knot just starts to get kind of bulky.
Yeah, it does. Especially trying to cast it.
Yeah.
All right, Don, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Appreciate that. You know, Andrew, a question. Where is Seakeeper made?
So all the manufacturing, engineering, design, everything is in Moton, Pennsylvania, which is a little outside of Reading. And then our headquarters is in Maryland. And then we also have satellite offices in Florida, Dubai, Singapore. So kind of branching all over the place. But everything is manufactured in the U.S. Right outside of Philadelphia.
Wow, pretty amazing. Now, what are the future plans for Seakeeper? Is it possible that this company could be publicly traded? Is it? Are you guys going to keep developing new technology?
Yeah, I mean, I think anything is possible, of course, but I think right now our founders are really enjoying the success that we're having, watching the company grow. I think, you know, their original vision was to bring this technology down to 20-foot boats, you know, as I said earlier, and I think that they're really having fun in the process of doing that. So at least for where I see it today, it's continuing embarking on the success that we've had in the 50-foot and over range, but then also focusing all of our efforts is trying to get down into that 20-foot size segment.
Pretty amazing. Now, what's the size of this? I mean, how heavy is it? Okay, let's say Rick wants to put it into his 25-foot boat. How much space is it going to take?
Right.
How much power is it going to draw? What's the weight, et cetera?
Yeah. Well, let me start with a current product. We'll look at the product that Pete has on his boat. He has our Seakeeper 26,000. That unit's roughly 3,000 pounds. And I think, Pete, what's your boat, about 110, 120,000 pounds loaded?
Yeah, 120.
So, you know, roughly 2.5% of the weight. But our technology, being we spin the flywheel inside a vacuum encapsulation, there's virtually no friction or resistance. So we can do so with very little power. So that unit consumes a max of 3 kW when in operation. And then our smaller units, which is for a 50 to 70 footer, it's essentially the same power as a hairdryer. And the product that we released last year, we were able to bring the power down low enough that you could actually operate it off a DC battery bank, you know, which you could have a battery reserve. But if you're running your engines at idle or a little above, you should have enough, you know, coming off the alternators to run that and the rest of the ship systems.
Yeah, and I think one other thing that needs to be education-wise is that these things are quiet. I mean, your engine room blowers are louder. My bait pump's louder.
Really?
It's amazing if you think about spinning something that fast, but it's quiet. I mean, you can hardly even hear it. It's amazing. I have to turn everything off, plug the shore power in, turn everything off before I can hear it.
Wow. I'm with you, Pete. I mean, there's things that, you know, I mean, even a small boat like mine, a 25-footer, I mean, there's things that are worth paying for. And sure, it's an investment, but I mean, it will. I mean, think about how much nicer your day will be. I mean, you know, it'll be an improvement in fishing conditions and in operating conditions. I mean, those are the things that are worth doing.
It depends on what you want in the investment. As technology gets better, the prices are going to come down, right, Andrew?
Yeah, we would hope, you know, with economies of scale, and you know, we've done 3,500 units to date. This year, we're going to ship somewhere around 1,200, and we believe that, you know, by 2020 we can be shipping 8,000 units a year as we get into a smaller segment. Of course, with that comes manufacturing efficiencies and hopefully cost reductions from vendors. You know, and I hope that we can bring the cost down as we get into these small boats.
So you're saying the new technology, you do not need a generator to run the Seakeeper.
That's right. So the model that we released last year operates off a DC battery bank, and all future smaller product releases will be all strictly DC.
Berkely, what about a guy like me? I've got a 25-foot Parker, which, compared to the Controlled Chaos, is a small boat. How much room do I need to afford if I was going to put a Seakeeper on a boat like mine?
You know, Rick, what we'd want to do is we want to coordinate with you with one of our CSICs, so one of our installation centers, to come down to the boat and have a look down in the hull. I mean, preferably we'd like it, aft. But you'd be surprised where we can put these things. It doesn't necessarily need to be installed centerline. So it is doable. Absolutely.
Cool.
All right.
That's really cool.
Very good.
All right, hey, when we come back, we got a whole lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls. We're going to check in with catch reports, find out what's biting up and down the beach. Lots of great stuff coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Buying a boat is a big decision, and you don't want to make a costly mistake with the wrong one. This is Pete Giacalone for Cussler Yachts. I've been in the fishing business my whole life. In fact, there are probably many of you out there that have fished with me. Well, now I've taken my boating knowledge and joined the team at Cussler Yachts. Mike Cussler and the rest of our team are true professionals when it comes to finding you the right boat. Just ask Pete Gray. I helped him make the right decision on his new boat after an extensive search, and we can help you find the boat of your dreams. We specialize in sport fishing boats and are the exclusive dealer for Regulator Marine, the finest center consoles on the market. At Cussler Yachts, we know fishing and we know boats, inside and out. We can save you thousands of dollars and get you into the right fishing boat for your needs and budget. Cussler Yachts is located on the waterfront at the beautiful Konakai Resort, and you can check us out on our website at CusslerYachts.com. That's KUSLER Yachts.com. Or give us a call at 1-866-607-5471. Ask for Pete and let me know you heard about it on Let's Talk Hookup.
Imagine being home in the morning and fishing yellowtail and calicos at Cedros Island by the afternoon. Now you can with Cedros Adventures. Experience world-class yellowtail and calico fishing aboard comfortable pangas with local captains that know the island hotspots. Stay in Cedros Adventures' own private waterfront hotel and experience first-class meals and service with pickups in L.A., Orange, or San Diego County. You hop aboard a scheduled flight to Cedros Island to begin an incredible experience. Trips are all inclusive and offer old world hospitality and fantastic fishing. Cedros Adventures. Call 310-435-6353 or check cedrosadventures.com for rates and more information.
Time to talk about great gear from Shimano. And spinning reels and big bluefin are big. And you're talking a reel that can have the power to land a big bluefin is the Twin Power by Shimano.
Absolutely. Shimano makes the very best spinning reels. The Stella and the Twin Power are two reels that 100% are not going to let you down when you hook a giant. And the guy sitting right next to us, I know, put a 230 pounder on the boat with spinning tackle, Therese rod, Shimano Stella reel. They are capable of landing giant glass fish.
Is that true, Pete? Spinning reels on your boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they work, don't they?
Yes, they do.
For cows.
You can pull hard on a big fish.
If you're always, it's the fishing. You always try to not stay on top of somebody, but you want to stay on top of the latest stuff. And when I was fishing Panama, that's all those guys do. They slide in the middle of those dolphin schools and they throw poppers and catch 150-pound yellowfin. They've been
powerful spinning gear.
Yes, powerful spinning gear.
That's the reel.
And they've been doing it for a long time. So, and the East Coast has. So it's not new. It's just new out here because the application finally is set up for it.
Is working.
And what Twin Power has done is brought the price affordable where we can all do it. It's an expensive reel, but it's got the power. It's got the guts. It's a really cool reel. And I highly recommend going into your local shop and checking it out.
There you go.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Oh, Rush!
San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
All right, time to find out what's biting out there.
Yeah, it is. Today it's time for the Catch Report, which is sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. The fish that you catch is such a valuable item, so why not take the best possible care of it? And nobody takes care of your fish like the pros at Fisherman's Processing. They are San Diego's finest, and they'll treat your fish just like it was their own. Once you try them, I guarantee you'll be hooked. You can check fishermansprocessing.com for more details or see them when your trip returns to the San Diego landings. And I know those guys have a very busy day today because every boat is coming in today. It's going to be a cool day if you want to go down to the docks and see a bunch of big fish get unloaded. Everybody's coming in today, so it's going to be a busy day at Fisherman's Processing for sure. Let's start off the Catch Report up at Dana War Sport Fishing. Filling in for Captain Brian Woolley, we got our buddy Shane Mansers on the line. What up, Shane?
Good morning, Shane.
There he goes. There it is. What's up, Shane?
It's been biting pretty good, guys. Half-day bass fishing's been excellent. Better fishing we've seen in a long time. With some better grade, too. We've had beautiful little sardine the last couple of weeks here for us, so it's really made an improvement on that for sure, as well as a little influence of some nicer bonita and some little yellowtails swimming around the edge of the kelp beds, a little kind of added bonus for us. Half-day trips have been running consistently. We have morning half-day, afternoon half-day, 10 o'clock half-day, as well as our twilights running weekly, so that stuff's been really good. It's been really fun. Definitely suggest making reservations. It's been pretty busy down here for us, so which is always a good thing. Now, as far as our 3/4 day range stuff goes, we've been focusing on the bass fishing as well. It's been just about everything I mentioned there on the half-day report. With the added bonuses, we've been kind of sticking our nose offshore a little bit here and there. A little influence of some pelagic fish showing up in our area. Last Friday, a few of the boats had a shot at some of the larger bluefin. Each boat managed to land one each. With a lot of fish popping off the hook. With that being said, if you're thinking about coming out with us, it's not a bad idea to maybe have a heavier setup. You might not leave the rack all day, but if something presents itself, it's you got it. So
you have the opportunity.
Good call.
Right?
That's very good
definitely.
info.
It's that time. Stuff's starting to trickle into our area, so definitely that time to be prepared.
Right.
The Fury's been keeping it going at the islands, of course. He's had some pretty good fishing, Catalina and San Clemente Island, keeping that ball rolling out there. But yeah, it's time, guys. It's time of year. Get down here. Bass fishing's been excellent. Starting to see that little influence offshore. So any week we hope to be out there and focusing our efforts towards that kind of stuff.
Bass capital of the West, and getting that name for a solid reason. Very, very good fishing going on right now, Shane. Great job doing the report. Excellent wrap-up. We sure appreciate it. If somebody does want to come fishing with you, what's the best way to do that?
I appreciate it, guys. So the best way, you can look us up online, of course, danawharf.com. All our info's up there. And as well as you can call the office direct. We got an awesome staff behind the phones there, 949-496-5794. If you want to save a little bit of money on a trip, guys, you can link us on the Let's Talk Hookup page. Hit that little link, save a little bit of money out here.
We're just going to have to fire Woolley. Well, this is going to be the Shane Manser show from here on out. I like it.
Good job, Shane.
Great on, Shane. Thank you, man.
All right,
You're
appreciate
welcome,
that.
Have a good day.
We appreciate the report and talk to you next week. Yeah, very good. That he mentioned that on our website, hookup1090.com. On the front page, you have that banner for Dana War Sport Fishing. Click on that banner. You book your trip. You save 20%.
How cool is that?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, no doubt. It's real money.
So there you go.
Especially when they're biting. That's not like that's a wintertime thing when it's just rock fishing. That's straight up. You can go catch a bluefin, get down this good bass fishing. Very, very cool offer.
You bet.
You buy a popper.
Buy a popper. Yeah, with the money you save.
Buy a popper, go bluefin fishing.
Speaking of big money, here he is, Gundy Gunderson, surf guru extraordinaire. Good morning, Gundy.
Hey, what's that big money?
You, man.
No, we deal in quantity here on the beach, Pete. I'm telling you, it's been terrific. All the things have come together. We got our last grunion run of the year, strong tides, clean, warm water, full moon. What more do you need? And it's showing in the surf line. It's really drawn in lots of fish. And I think, it's not only those days of the grunion run, but it's the staging of the grunion inside that draws fish, too, throughout the whole period. Hook, line, sinker in Santa Barbara reported good halibut fishing all week. Grunion pattern, flash minnows been working well up there. That East Beach Graveyard continues to crank out the legal fish in there. Very good fishing. Another note, and we heard talk of bonita, but the bonita showed up on the beach there. The shore anglers and some kayak guys were scoring fish, and nice quality fish, 3 to 4 pound bonita, taking the red and white bonita feather. Arco Island was the hot spot there, a little island off near Carpinteria there. Wiley's reported excellent fishing all week, variety of species biting. Calico bass, in particular, in all the rocky areas, were just going bananas. They had two of the shop regulars had 24 fish caught and released in a wide open session Thursday morning of this week. And then another fine catch there, too, 18-pound, 36-inch halibut taken on a frozen anchovy. Just fishing in South Bay reported excellent Corbina action on Torrance Beach there. Legal halibut coming in off the same area, too, on the flash minnows. Big Fish reported lots of halibut this week. Cherry Beach, 72nd place. Seal Beach Jetty, hard jerkbait, slow roll crocodile. Dana Point, continued good croaker bite. That spot fin bite's been excellent there. Now there's a lot of yellowfin mixed in, some spot fin to 5 pounds on mussels and lugworms. Corbina bite off Capo Beach, finally taken off in that stretch. There was some really good fishing this week. Pacific Coast, same thing. Excellent Corbina action. South Carroll, Del Mar, Torrey Pines, raking, using the sand crab catcher. Now there's plenty of sand crabs. Use that catcher. Get the soft shells and the bigger nuggets and, weed those out, put them in your little pouch, and fish with that better bait, and that's what the guys are doing early and late because of the beach traffic, but those fish are finally on the bite. So terrific fishing this week.
Gotta love that, man. It's prime time on the beach in Gundy Gunderson. You are awesome. Thanks a lot for that great report, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, have a good week, gentlemen.
You too.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up the Catch Report today, sponsored again by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything that you need to go fishing, a complete saltwater tackle store. They have a full deli, offer Mexican and California licenses. They have trips and six-pack charters. And when it comes to freshwater tackle, check out East County Bait and Tackle, full of all the freshwater tackle and live bait that you need for a great day in the lake. Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld, next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay, and East County Bait and Tackle. They're at the end of the 67 freeway in Mapleview and Lakeside. Check DanaLanding.com if you want some more info from those great guys. And let's jump right back into the phones. They're packed up. Why don't we talk to Dan calling us from Encinitas this morning. Dan, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Dan.
All right, I've got a buddy who he's going to pull the trigger on a 19-foot center console Craigslist special. And I'm the only one with the truck. So, and I've never, we've never, put a boat in the water. And I see these pictures of boat or trucks sunk right in front of Dana Landing. Is that is that human error, or what's the best place to launch a boat for your first time?
Pete.
Me?
Yeah.
He's not a small boat guy.
I'm not a small boat
Come
guy.
on, I remember you. Remember 40, 50 years ago? You used to have a trailer boat?
That was a long time ago.
I don't remember.
That was a long time ago.
Bad memory, okay.
But, no,
Dana Landing's the easiest launch trap in the world, from my experience.
It's human error when something like that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's not steep ramp.
No.
It's easy. You've got a lot of people around there that know what they're doing.
But in this group, Ricky's probably got the most information on that because he has the small boats and they do that stuff all the time.
And I would say the one you don't want to do is Shelter Island.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
At least until it's going to take you one or two times. You're going to be perfectly comfortable with it. I'm with you. Dana Landing, especially. I loved your term, Craigslist special, because if and when you need starter fluid and a new battery and your extra quart of oil, all of it is at Dana Market. When you forgot your plug, I would go to Dana Landing, and what I would do is rather than launch it on a Saturday morning for the first time, you and your bro go down there at lunchtime on a Thursday and put the boat in the water a couple of times when there's nobody at the ramp. You'll have a huge ramp. You can do it 4 or 5 times. You'll be perfectly comfortable, and that way when Saturday rolls around, you'll already be a pro.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, Oscar in San Diego. You're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Oscar.
Hey, morning. How you doing, man? Hey, Pete, what's going on, man?
Hey.
Hey, quick question for you. I'm running the old Whitecap and your old boat, 43 Innovator and a 400 Lures, but sonar, what are you running right now on your Viking?
Well, we've got the latest Omni 8. It's not a side scanning. It's the latest. It's a pulse. It uses a pulse. It's more like a radar underwater than it is a side scan. This one, the normal side scanning sonar scans 360 degrees in about 37 seconds. This one scans it in half a second.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's
We're
looking
able-
all the way around you all the time.
Yeah,
Half a
it's
second.
360. And
Interesting.
instead of our range being 400 or 500 feet, 600 feet, we're looking at 1,200.
Wow.
Now you and obviously you're still running all for rental stuff.
Yeah, but you could, the CH250, you could put in that boat, no problem.
Yeah, still got the sea chest in there, but that it's got a problem with the old one. And other question for you, bait pump. You got any 110 volt pump that you like better than others?
Just the swimming pool pumps, but what you got to remember on those is when you're going to put one in, they have and all these swimming pool companies make them, is that you got to ask for the saltwater version, because they have these pumps that they use. A lot of people have saltwater pools, and they have these pumps. And what it is they just take it has a plastic impeller, and the casing around for the seal, instead of out of steel, it's out of stainless, and the bearings and the seal ceramic, so saltwater doesn't wash it out. And if you don't, the salt water just washes out the seals, and you start sucking air, and then you're in real trouble. So they make the saltwater ones, and they're just set up for salt water, and a lot more plastic parts and a lot less stuff to break and go bad.
So is this boat a candidate for a Seakeeper too, Pete?
You could pull, yeah. I'm just trying to think where you put it, but that thing.
What kind of price range you talking? Any idea?
I wouldn't know on that side.
How big is the boat?
42.
42.
It's Pete's old boat.
Yeah. So what do you, Andrew? What are you looking at? 42-foot sport fisher, kind of general price range right now?
Yep, that would be our Seakeeper 5, and that retails for right around $30,000. And then factor in install, and I think you're probably looking at something around $40,000 turnkey, which would be unit and install.
So I have a question. Pete, I used to run the fish 65 hatters, and we had stabilizers, at the big fins. Does this have the same type technology, or are you using the big fins underneath?
Good question.
No, that's a funny thing. I think Pete said it before. People's face drop when you turn it on for the first time, and the first thing they say is, "Oh, well, what's sticking outside the boat?" And our technology and why it's so effective and has caught on so quickly, in especially fast planing boats, is there is nothing external to the boat. So there's no loss of speed, no loss of efficiency, no danger of catching it on floating debris. It's totally internal.
No losing fish on a big fin sticking out.
Yeah, exactly.
I think something that a lot of us can visualize a little bit more is a lot of us have used stabilized binoculars, and that's just something that uses a similar technology. And I mean, the difference between having, looking at something through a regular pair of binoculars or looking through a pair of gyros when they're not caged on and seeing the movement and then turning them on, it's the same exact device that you used before, and everything was bumpy and shaky, and then when you turn it on, it's perfectly still. It's the exact same thing, but instead of your binoculars holding still, your boat is.
Your boat's
holding still. The guys we put the guys in the tower with the gyro on, with the gyro binoculars.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
You don't even need to turn the gyro on.
You can see so there's no external fin. So is it a jet stream of water? I mean, it's got to be something to offset the roll.
Yeah, so inside the sphere, we have a flywheel spinning at extremely high rates of speed. So, and some of the units up to almost 600 miles an hour. And essentially the energy that generates, the natural physics of the gyro is the boat rolls, or the gimbal rotates, which in our application is the boat rolls. The gyro naturally moves fore and aft. That's the physics of it. Again, if you spin a top and you try to knock it over, it will pick itself back up. And every time it does that, all of that harness energy is exerted onto the stringers and through the structure of the boat, and that's what's reducing the roll.
Wow. So it's kind of, the way I understand it, Andrew, is it's kind of like the boat rolls to starboard, and the gyro pushes it to port to stabilize it. Is that kind of the idea?
Well, the unit actually moves fore and aft, which releases a torque to 90 degrees. So it's actually always, with every roll oscillation, it's pushing down on one side of the boat and pulling up on the other.
Oh, okay.
And give you an idea, on a 50-foot boat, that's almost 8,000 foot-pounds total of torque that's being applied across the structure.
Wow, that's amazing. So there's nothing external. There's zero external parts.
We built the two Titan boats.
Yeah.
And the same machinery and everything, and the one with the Seakeeper in it's 2 knots faster than one of the fins.
Really?
No kidding.
2 knots faster. And
Wow.
more efficient probably fuel-wise,
Oh, yeah.
too. Yeah. And what's the difference in the roll with Seakeeper versus fins?
I don't know what fins, do or deliver in terms of performance, but, as I said before, we're typically now 85 to 95%. We have hundreds and hundreds of sea trial reports on our website, which you can look, with a variety of configurations and sea conditions. But again, I don't know how to compare that to what the fin systems are doing.
Well, a lot of the guys, and Mr. Andrew can attest to this, is that, especially on the bigger applications, there's guys with some of the older boats that have the fins, and they're adding the Seakeepers, and they go, I'll get rid of the fins. Well, don't get rid of the fins. Leave the fins in, and the two of them together, they complement each other, and it's been so the guy doesn't have to make the money to rip the fins out. He just adds a Seakeeper.
Just add it.
And that's what Steve has on that 94.
Yeah.
Thing is a platform.
Just move.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think fins, when they were originally designed, they were designed to provide stabilization when the boat's underway. So typical like airplane wings, by rotating slightly, they can create lift or down, which was very, very effective at reducing roll with boats at 20 knots or so. As the marketplace started demanding stabilization while at rest, because that's when boat roll is the worst, they've used that same concept, but now they have to move these fins at such high rates of speed. It's almost like if you can imagine being in a kayak in the middle and trying to stabilize yourself with your 2 oars. And they have gotten all right with the technology, and they've been able to produce the stabilization, but there is some downsides. And it's not only the speed and efficiency loss when underway, but when you're at rest, they consume a tremendous amount of power to be able to move those big fins through the water at those high rates of speed. And they're also typically located midships, which a lot of times is right by the owner's cabin, and the hydraulics, required to turn those fins create quite a bit of noise and can be troublesome as well.
Interesting.
It's all good info.
All
man.
good info.
Crazy.
Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning, Oscar.
When we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming right, including another hour of your phone calls. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Hey everybody, this is Captain Dwayne Diego, 4-pack charter captain, here to talk to you about Parker Boats and the good folks at West Coast Marine. When it came time to start pinnacle sport fishing and get my own boat, there was only one choice. I wanted a Parker. Then there's a real good reason for it. The fishability and seaworthiness. I've been fishing on Parkers for years now, and I know the abuse they can take. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's what I need when we're out 12 hours a day, over 300 days a year, running charters. The guys at West Coast Marine built me one heck of a fishing boat. From the custom tower with steering and throttle controls to the backup bait pump system, my Parker 2520 XLD will deliver me to the fishing grounds reliably and safe. Take it from me. If you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check them out and their inventory and information online at westcoastmarine.com.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For more than 55 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built for ultimate performance on the water. From our next-generation fishing shorts like the Tactical Camo or Stealth Shorts to our Aft Block sun protection shirts like the Fish Ninja and Samurai Sun Hoodie, the entire AFCO clothing lineup is purpose-built with the latest AFTEC fabrics and designed with functional features to deliver top performance for the demanding angler. Visit www.afco.com to find a dealer near you.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Major League Playoffs and World Series. San Diego sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh, but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details.
Everyone likes special treatment, kind of feel like a VIP. Well, that's how our listeners are treated at Poway Valley Collision. I have personally heard of several stories of how well our friends Jim and Mary take care of their customers that we sent them. Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. We know you may not need them today, but when accidents happen, it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. And listen to this, our listeners get a special discount that can save you hundreds of dollars on your car or truck repair. Just tell them you listen to the show and you get the deal. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, Wawanesa, and more. Just bring your car or truck to them and let Poway Valley Collision do the rest. I have had my truck repaired at Poway Valley Collision and the job was perfect. So get your vehicle fixed right at Poway Valley Collision. Tell them you listen to Let's Talk Hookup and they'll save you money on your repair. Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
Last year we had an unbeatable fishing season. One of the best in decades. I think we'll all take another year just like it. Now, just imagine what it could be like if we have an unbeatable season 39 years in a row. Well, that's exactly what Ford has done with their F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks 39 years in a row. We love our F-150s here in San Diego. Ford trucks give you the freedom to launch your boat with ease thanks to Pro Trailer Backup Assist. The freedom to toss all your gear in the bed no matter how wet and messy it gets. And the freedom to fit 5 full-size guys comfortably in the cab. And right now, during the Ford Freedom Sales Event, you'll get the freedom from interest charges with Ford's best finance rate of the year. Freedom from high monthly payments thanks to special summer lease programs, plus the freedom to save even more on trucks with smart bonus tags. It's an incredible combination of savings on an incredible lineup of trucks. So don't miss the Ford Freedom Sales Event. Stop by your San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.